Right now, as we watch, there are lots of dangerous fights happening between the countries. We can see a war between Russia and Ukraine, a major war between Iran vs America-Israel. But all of these wars, there is a silent war which is happening across the globe. Yes! There are over 200 countries in the world, and almost every single one has a secret team working in the shadows. These are the intelligence agencies. Their job is simple but dangerous, and most complicated. They have to predict attacks, find threats, and protect their borders. Israel has Mossad, Russia has the SVR, India has RAW, Pakistan has ISI, and the UK has MI6. These organizations have thousands of agents risking their lives every day to keep their nations safe. But among all these intelligence agencies of different countries, there is one that stands at the very top. It is the most famous, the most funded, and arguably the most powerful intelligence agency in human history, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States. Unlike other groups, the CIA's reach is truly global. They don't just protect America, they influence the entire world. They are the eyes and ears of the US president, operating in places where others cannot go. They can do anything in the world, and they perform perfect killing. We see spies in movies and think of James Bond, but the real work of the CIA is much more intense. This is an agency that manages a black budget of billions of dollars, money that the public never sees. They have been involved in the biggest events of our time, from the hunt for Osama bin Laden to high-stakes missions that have changed the maps of entire continents. From high-tech satellite tracking to secret agents on the ground, the CIA has a way of knowing things before they even happen. Hey guys, welcome to Anandeshwar Uncovered. In today's video, we are going deep into the company to see how they really work. We aren't just looking at the myths, we are looking at the facts. We will break down exactly how their intelligence cycle works, why they were started back in 1947, and how many agents are actually out there in the field. The roadmap, what you'll learn. So guys, by the end of this video, you'll know the following points. So, number 1, the mechanics. How does the CIA collect and use information? Number 2, the history. When and why was this massive agency established? Number 3, the size. How many agents and spies are really working for them? Number 4, the missions. What are their most successful and most dangerous operations? Number 5, the money. What is the actual budget of the world's most powerful agency? How much a US government spend on his most powerful intelligence agency? If you want to understand who really runs the world from behind the scenes, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Most people think CIA mechanics involve James Bond gadgets and high-speed chases. In reality, the CIA is a massive data processing factory. Their goal isn't just to spy, it is to provide decision advantage. This means giving the US president information before anyone else has it. To do this, they use a 5-step process called the intelligence cycle. It is a relentless loop that never stops, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. If one part of this cycle breaks, the mission fails and lives are lost. It starts with planning. The White House sends a requirement. For example, what is the leader of country X planning to do with their nuclear program? Then comes the most dangerous part, collection. The CIA doesn't just Google it. They use the Big Five of intelligence. 1. HUMINT, human intelligence. This is the classic spy work, recruiting high-level officials in foreign governments to leak secrets. 2. SIGINT, signals intelligence. Intercepting emails, phone calls, and encrypted radio signals. 3. GEOINT, geospatial intelligence. Using billion-dollar satellites to count the number of tanks on a border or detect new bunkers from space. 4. OSINT, open source intelligence. Monitoring social media, local news, and public records. 5. MASINT, measurement and signature intelligence. Detecting things like the chemical signature of a lab or the vibration of a specific missile engine. Collecting the data is the easy part. The hard part is processing. The CIA collects petabytes of data every hour. Most of it is encrypted, in foreign languages or hidden in code. Thousands of linguists and computer scientists use AI to translate and sort this mountain of noise. Once the data is clean, it goes to the analysts at Langley. These are the smartest people in the room, historians, economists, and psychologists. Their job is to connect the dots. If a general in country X buys a specific type of medicine, and a satellite shows a limo moving toward a hospital, the analyst must decide, is the leader dying, or is this a distraction? They have to be right, because a mistake can start a war. The final step is dissemination. All that spying, hacking, and analyzing leads to one document, the PDB, President's Daily Brief. This is the most exclusive newspaper in the world, read by only a handful of people. The CIA mechanics don't just end with a report. If the president sees a threat, they can authorize covert action. This is where the CIA's Special Activities Center, SAC, comes in. These are the elite paramilitaries who go into the field to neutralize the threat. This is the mechanics of the CIA at its most lethal, when information turns into action. The cycle then restarts. The president asks new questions based on the report, and the spies go back to work. The mechanics of the CIA are designed to be invisible. When they succeed, you never hear about it. When they fail, it's on every news channel in the world. But as we will see in the next chapter of this video, this machine wasn't built overnight. It was born out of total global chaos. So guys, now we will see the most dangerous and best operation held by the CIA in history. The mission of killing of Osama bin Laden, also how CIA operate Operation Cyclone. So let's start number 2 point. Most dangerous and most complicated mission held by CIA. Guys, there is a major difference between intelligence and operations. Intelligence is watching. Operations is acting. Under US law, the CIA is the only civilian agency authorized to carry out covert action. This means the agency can influence political, economic, or military conditions abroad, while keeping the US government's involvement a secret. When the CIA moves, it moves in the gray zone, the space between peace and war. These missions aren't just about movies. They are about high-stakes gambles that can save a nation or start a revolution. The most famous mission in modern CIA history is the decade-long hunt for Osama bin Laden. This wasn't just a military raid, it was an intelligence masterpiece. For 10 years, the CIA used every mechanic we've discussed. They tracked couriers through HUMINT, used high-resolution GEOINT satellites to monitor the compound's pacer, a man who walked circles in the yard, and even set up a fake vaccination program to collect DNA. When the SEALs finally moved in on May 2, 2011, it was based on CIA certainty. It was the ultimate proof that the agency's patience and global reach could eventually find anyone, anywhere on the planet. To understand how the CIA changes history, we have to look at Operation Cyclone. In the 1980s, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. The CIA didn't send American soldiers. Instead, they funneled billions of dollars in high-tech weaponry like Stinger missiles to the Afghan resistance. This was the largest covert operation in history. It turned the tide of the war, exhausted the Soviet Union, and eventually led to the collapse of the Berlin Wall. It showed that the CIA could defeat a superpower without ever firing an American bullet. A professional look at the CIA must include its failures. The Bay of Pigs in 1961 was a disaster where a CIA-backed invasion of Cuba failed completely, embarrassing the US on the world stage. Then there was MKUltra, a secret project where the agency experimented on human subjects to find a truth serum or mind control method. These operations remind us that the CIA's power is a double-edged sword. When they operate without enough oversight, the results can be catastrophic. These failures led to the creation of the intelligence committees in the US Congress, which now try to keep the agency's power in check. Today, the dangerous operations have moved to the digital world. The CIA is now involved in Stuxnet-style operations, using computer viruses to physically destroy nuclear centrifuges or stop missile launches before they even happen. They are fighting a war against hackers and disinformation. Whether it is a commando team in the jungle or a hacker in a basement at Langley, the CIA's mission remains the same, to act where others cannot. But every operation, whether it's a drone strike or a cyber attack, costs an incredible amount of money. So guys, let's talk about point number 2, the history of the CIA, why it was formed and who formed it. To understand the CIA, you have to understand the greatest intelligence failure in American history, Pearl Harbor. On December 7, 1941, the United States was caught completely off guard. Why? It wasn't because they didn't have information. It was because the information was scattered. The Army had some, the Navy had some, and the FBI had some, but nobody was talking to each other. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, realized that America was blind on the global stage. He needed a central brain to collect all world intelligence. This led to the creation of the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, during World War II. The OSS was the grandfather of the CIA, training the first generation of American spies to go behind enemy lines in Nazi-occupied Europe. After World War II ended, the OSS was actually shut down. But a new threat was rising, the Soviet Union. The Cold War was beginning, and America realized it couldn't survive without a permanent intelligence agency. On July 26, 1947, President Harry S. Truman signed the National Security Act. This single piece of paper changed the world forever. It officially created the Central Intelligence Agency. For the first time, the US had a civilian agency whose only job was to gather foreign secrets. It was born out of fear. The fear that if they didn't know what the Soviets were doing, a nuclear war could end the world. In the 1950s and 60s, the CIA evolved from a data-gathering group into a global power player. This was the era of the U-2 spy plane, which could fly so high it was invisible to Soviet radar, taking photos of secret missile sites. But the CIA also started doing something controversial: covert action. They weren't just watching foreign governments, they were changing them. From Operation Ajax in Iran to the Bay of Pigs in Cuba, the CIA became the secret weapon of American foreign policy. During this time, the agency built its massive headquarters in Langley, Virginia, which remains the heart of global espionage to this day. The CIA's history isn't all victories. In the 1970s, the agency faced massive public backlash after secret operations were exposed to the public. For a while, the agency's power was limited by law. Everything changed again on September 11, 2001. The 9/11 attacks were a massive shock to the system. The CIA was criticized for not connecting the dots on Al-Qaeda. This led to a total transformation. The CIA shifted from Cold War spying to global counterterrorism. They became a paramilitary force, using drones and elite teams to hunt down terrorists across the Middle East and Africa. Today, the CIA has moved into the digital frontier. While they still have boots on the ground, their biggest battles are now fought in cyberspace. They are dealing with cyber attacks from China, disinformation from Russia, and the rise of artificial intelligence. From a small group of World War II scouts to a global digital powerhouse with a multi-billion-dollar budget, the CIA's history is the history of the modern world. They have spent nearly 80 years in the shadows,